Welcome to Macau for the 26th Motorcycle Grand Prix to be held on this tiny Portuguese colony, where visitors are always made welcome, and the phrase "we never close" could really have been invented for. New boys and old hands have been battling for the best grid positions, and it's one of the debutants, Carl Fogarty, who blitzed to pole with a sub 2 minute 34 second lap. Fellow Yamaha man James Whittam lines up next to him.
It's not exactly my favourite circuit, but I'm just starting to enjoy it now. I'm just getting the circuit flowing and that, and starting to go fast. Before I was like trying too hard. It felt like I was going fast, but I wasn't. Now I'm smoothed down a bit. I've gone fast and without even noticing, you know.
War of the Roses, which one's going to win, the white or the red?
I honestly wouldn't like to say. Probably Carl's got maybe a little bit of an advantage on paper at this stage, but I wouldn't like to. I'd say we're fairly even.
The riders under orders then for the start of the first leg of the 1992 Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix. The green flag waved at the back. Everybody's on position. They're ready. All eyes on the traffic lights. They stare at the lights. They change from red to green. The charge is on. Who is going to make the break? And well, the charge through the first corner. Peter Abarto well up at the start. A ferociously fierce start. The charge is on. There's Fogarty in third place. Peter Abarto ahead of him, but who is that mysterious figure out in front? And that's Honma. The Japanese riders made the break, and this is the tricky one. A very, very tight, almost right-handed corner that narrows up. There's Fogarty. Well, he's dropped down a couple of places. And Fogarty, well, he'll want to be careful on the opening laps. There's an awful long way to go. 15 laps ahead of the field. This is a 3.8-mile circuit. And Jamie Whittam now. And there's Fogarty going past Peter Abarto. So Whittam goes up into second place. I think Honma still holds the lead. Whittam in second place, Jamie Whittam. Then Fogarty on the camera bike in third spot. Peter Abarto pushed back to fourth place. And this is part of this awesome Macau circuit. It really takes a very special sort of rider to go quickly here. And Toshihiko Honma, well, he's a very special rider, holding off Jamie Whittam. Whittam's been here several times before. And Peter Abarto back in fourth place. There's the leaders then. That's Honma, the Japanese rider, number 33. Behind him, number 69, Jamie Whittam, just putting the pressure on. And there's Whittam winding up the wick. Honma holds him off. And Carl Fogarty now closing on the front two runners. So we've got 500 Yamahas in first, second and third place. Behind them still, I think, Peter Abarto, the 37-year-old German on the 750 OW01 four-stroke Yamaha, and Whittam goes wide. Fogarty in practice overshot this hairpin, had to do a three-point turn, and for motorcycles, of course, without a reverse gear, that becomes a little bit tricky. Down the hill they go, a downhill run, just brushing against the barriers, coming round towards completing the final lap. We can look out of the window, seeing Dave Woolham's just going out of the pits, a bit of problems for him. Now, we'll see the pace of the Yamahas here. Honma out in front, just trying to hold off Jamie Whittam. And that's the view of the leaders, as seen by Carl Fogarty on the machine with the camera bike. And they're pulling away from him slightly, and Whittam is going to go past, is he? No, has to pull him behind. I think it's still Honma out in front. We'll see in just a moment. It looks like the blue leathers of Whittam still in second spot. And this is the fastest part of the circuit. They wind the wick up out of the slipstream. Honma still there, out in front. Whittam can't get past. Fogarty just hovering, shadowing there in third place. Then going up into fourth spot, that's Chuck Graves, the American. Well, what a great start for Chuck Graves. And Whittam finally does it on the brakes, going into Lisboa corner, the 90-degree right-hander, just brushing against that Armco. Then they go another right-hander into San Francisco Hill. Up the hill they go, the climb. And then we get to the very tricky, narrowest part of the circuit. And Honma hanging on to the heels of Jamie Whittam on this, the second lap. So at the end of lap 1, it was Hunmar out in front, Whittam in second place. They've reversed those positions, though, as they go out onto lap 2. Fogarty was third, Chuck Graves fourth, Philip McCallan fifth, Eddie Laycock sixth, Michael Barnes seventh, Nick Jeffries eighth, Carl Truxess in ninth spot, and Peter Barto in 10th place, just ahead of Fritz Kling, the American first-timer, with the Belgian Michel Simeon in 12th place. So Jamie Whittam, the Yorkshire lad, he's been here a few times, not had a lot of success. He's had problems with the motorcycles every time he's been there. There's the smiling face of Jamie Whittam, Yorkshire lad from Huddersfield, who's been looked after and cared for by Mick Grant. They're very experienced and capable fellow Yorkshiremen. And Jamie just popping the front wheel in the air. There's Fogarty in pursuit. The front two not exactly pulling away, but I'm sure Carl would like to be just a tad closer. Fogarty from Lancashire, and Jamie Whittam, and Hunmar, who was just a bit late on the brakes, almost T-boning Whittam. Fogarty now winding up the wick. You can see him starting to hurry. The secret here at Macau, though, is to try to be smooth, to try and link these difficult corners together. 24 riders out on the racetrack. That's this lap, of course, to Hunmar, who led on the opening lap at 2:47.35. In practice, Fogarty 2:33.95. Unofficially, of course, a lap record. Hunmar, number 33, Japanese rider, 27 years of age, 25 years of age, in fact. Hunmar started racing back in 1983, that's quite a time ago. His bike, a semi-factory Yamaha. The man who manages him, Hiroyuki Kawasaki, raced several times in England, a good Grand Prix runner. Fourth in the 500 World Championship. Dave Wollums, who was late out, there he is, back in the pits. End of the race for him, it would seem. Bad luck for him. Dave Wollums, a regular here at Macau now. Can Hunmar do exactly the same thing to Whittam as Whittam did to him? And the answer is no. Whittam hangs on. It's Hunmar in second place, Fogarty third, McCallan now up into fourth spot, Laycock in fifth position, Chuck Graves is sixth, Michael Barnes seventh, Carl Truxess eighth, Tony Jeffries ninth, Fritz Kling up into 10th place. That's an excellent ride from him. Michel Simeon, the Belgian, 11th, and Johnny Rave from Northern Ireland, the Ulsterman, in 12th place. Peter Roberto dropping back. Oh, now Fogarty closing on the leading duo. Fogarty here for the first time. Fogarty has been here several times before. Whittam has been here several times before. I should say Fogarty for the first time. And it's no surprise that Fogarty, at least for the first few laps, will follow these men. He was ultra quick in practice. Here's the confirmation of the top 6 at the end of that second lap. But Fogarty, I'm sure, will just watch this pair. Peter Roberto, the very talented West German, out of this race, though. Here's the bunch further down the field. Number 2, Mike Barnes, we saw him. Number 5, Derek Young. That's the brother of Honda UK man Graham Young, the team manager here. And who's this battle? Chuck Graves, just ahead of Fritz Kling. So the two Americans are together, and that means that Fritz Kling is climbing up the leaderboard. He is indeed. We're watching the battle for 6th and 7th place, and that really is marvellous stuff from the two Americans. Good to see them going well. Fritz Kling, 25 years of age, from East Lansing in Michigan, USA. Very close neighbour of Jay Springsteen, the dirt track rider. But look at this, out in front, the front 3 men together. This really is looking good. Fastest lap now to Fogarty, who closed the gap. Oh, and a faller. Now, that I think is one of the Americans. That could be Fritz Kling himself. Let's just check on that. And that is Kling, I'm sure. He's a big man. He'll pick that up himself. And that really set. Oh! And he's obviously just clipped the straw bale. The straw bale right in the middle of the circuit. And eventually, one of the brave marshals comes to move that. Well, it's a good job he did. Gets it out of the way. But sad luck for Fritz Kling, running in 7th place. And, well, he's going to have to do well to climb back into contention. But he's going well. First time here. Bit of a sad mistake. Now, here's Hunmar winding up the wick, going into Yacht Club Bend. This is the fastest part of the circuit. The Yamaha of Carl Fogarty clocked at 138 miles an hour here in practice. Hunmar pulls out of the slipstream and does the slingshot on Whittam, but Whittam tries to regain the place and cannot do so, has to pull back into line astern. So Hunmar takes the lead on the 5th lap. Hunmar goes back in front at the coming up to the 1/3 distance in this first leg of the two-part Macau Grand Prix. And Fritz Kling there, well, I'm not sure that he's hurt. I think he's a little bit cheesed off. I think he's okay. I think he's just unhappy. Whittam on the inside, and the Yorkshire lad decides no, not this time. Chin on the tank, a bit of a sprint with these lightweight, powerful 4-cylinder 2-stroke Yamahas into the very, very fast reservoir, and then they're on the start and finish straight. Head down, past the pits. They'll be looking at the pit boards for signals. Whittam pulls out of the slipstream, so too does Fogarty. Oh, that's not a good place to be overtaken, but Whittam does it. Whittam goes ahead. Jamie Whittam, chin on the tank. They're so quick round that Yacht Club corner. And there they come, 3 abreast. No, it's 2 abreast. Whittam and Hunmar disputing it, and Jamie Whittam very quick into Lisboa corner. Very easy to make a mistake there and have to take the slip road. And the bike's just twitching and sliding, and these men just ignoring it, pretending it doesn't happen. Fogarty just losing a little bit of ground, just 2 or 3 machines lengths, but he'll be able to pull that back. Now, here comes the chasing bunch. McCallan is 4th, Laycock is 5th, and then Michael Barnes, Johnny Ray climbing up there a little bit. Quite a good battle there. Carl Truccess with the green leathers to the right of your picture there, the Austrian. First time here. Here comes number 7, Nick Jeffries. And, well, Johnny Ray getting ahead of that group. Johnny Ray, like most Ulstermen, a man who goes well on road circuits. They serve their apprenticeship diving between brick walls and lampposts. Carl Truccess going well there. So that's Johnny Ray, number 10, now ahead of number 7, Nick Jeffries. Truccess is there. He's down in 9th place or 10th place. Underneath the bridge they go. Hunmar winds up the wing, and Hunmar goes to the front. And Fogarty still shadows them. And Hunmar now being shadowed by Whittam. Will he pull out of the slipstream? Whittam is the rider just ahead, and he thought about it. Hard on the brakes. Hunmar's good on the brakes. Just a little shrimp of a character, but he can ride a motorcycle very well indeed. Hiroyuki Kawasaki, the man who manages him, before that had Fujiwara. Fujiwara apparently now a full factory Honda rider. And I suspect that Kawasaki's quite pleased about that, because he was fairly an expensive rider to live with. Did have a habit of falling off. You may remember a few years ago, he having a go with Mr. Haslam till he tipped off here. Now we're watching the battle between Eddie Laycock, number 11, and Philip McCallan, number 9. So it's Southern Ireland era versus Northern Ireland here. And, well, as you can see, less than half a second the gap there, battling for 4th and 5th. Philip McCallan saying that there'd be an A battle and a B battle. Well, he thought the B battle would be between himself and some other 4-stroke 750s. But Eddie Laycock on his 500 Yamaha, the Joe Miller bike, just having problems with handling all weekend, not getting the handling sorted out, and he cannot shake off the big, heavier 4-stroke, the more sluggish machine. And in fact, an elderly motorcycle now in terms of modern-day engineering. And Fogarty closer as we rejoin the leaders. It's a good battle for the lead, the top 3 men. This is the 7th lap coming up to the halfway stage of this 15-lapper. Hunmar, Whittam goes wide. He'll try and cut back on the inside, will he? Would. Oh! Well, he was going to cut back on the inside. Unfortunately, there was a rear wheel in his way, which made that little attempt rather more difficult than he intended it to be. The charge is on. These Yamahas, beautifully engineered by Harris Performance Products in England, and making Grand Prix racing affordable side by side, and Whittam's done him. Whittam goes back into the lead. Hunmar in 2nd place, and Carl Fogarty, who looks very, very relaxed. I think if I were a betting man, I'd probably be putting a bob or two now on Carl Fogarty. He does look very comfortable, and whereas Hunmar and Whittam are trying hard, and you see on this on my camera, oh, there goes Hunmar very quick. Oh, And you saw Whittam let off the brakes then when he sensed that Hunmar was coming along. And I think Fogarty might have them both here. No, he doesn't. He stays back there. Hunmar down the middle of the road, thinking about an inside line. Fogarty still hovering as they go into Lisboa corner for this, the 8th time out of 15. Oh, and the bike's just hopping and skipping around on the bumps there. And they're just not being phased out at all. Here comes the battle for 4th and 5th. Laycock still holding off Philip McCallan. McCallan just dropping back a little bit. It was half a second before. That gap 1.57 seconds now. And Eddie Laycock, who was a runner-up overall last year, not going so well on the Miller Racing machine. And this on-bike camera does give you exactly what it is like to be riding on that black ribbon of road between two walls. There is absolutely no runoff area for a good 80% of this racetrack. Sorry, make that 90% of this racetrack. The circuit, 3.8 miles in length, 6.2 kilometers if you prefer that. And here they go. Hunmar goes back into the lead, and Jamie Whittam will once again have seen how quick the bike of the Japanese rider is. A semi-factory Yamaha. Now, what's Fogarty going to do? He's still content to follow. Still got a lot of time. We've just done 2/3 distance, 5 more laps to go. They all close together. The elastic just shrinks again, and then it starts to expand as they wind the width to go up San Francisco Hill. This is not a place where you want to fall off. Hunmar with the advantage, but for how long? Whittam breathing down his neck. Carl Fogarty in 3rd place, putting the pressure on. And Fogarty does look relaxed. The 2 men ahead of him are what we would call scratching, and Carl Fogarty, I think, he's touring. He's not exactly going down the road to Postoletta, but he's looking much, much more comfortable than the 2 men are working hard ahead of him. Hunmar leads. Whittam in 2nd place. Eddie Laycock now over 7 seconds ahead of Philip McCallan. So 500 Yamahas 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Then the 750 Honda, the Honda UK machine of Philip McCallan. And then the 750 Kawasaki of Carl Truxess, the Austrian, making his debut here. Fogarty too here for the first time. Oh, and Fogarty just winds up the wick, squeezes the power on, and he goes 2nd. So Fogarty makes his move up into 2nd place, and James Whittam will not be wildly excited about that. And do not be surprised if we see a blue leather-clad figure go flicking past at some stage in the very near future. There's the hairpin. Woof, it goes on forever, doesn't it? And down the hill, just brushing against these barriers. When I say brushing, I literally mean brushing, because these men have actually, some of them have made contact this week. Nick Jeffries bounced off one wall. There's Whittam there, look, breathing down the neck of Fogarty. Fogarty looks back, winds up the wick. He's got this job, I would think, under control. Carl Fogarty looked very, very relaxed. He's starting to look round, looking where the opposition is, and he's proved that he knows a point where he can squirt it past Whittam. Now, will he show us, and will he show Hunmar? Well, I think he's about to. The pace of the Fogarty Yamaha takes him into the lead, chin on the tank, side by side, into Yacht Club Bend. Oh dear, this is scary. Fogarty on the inside, they're closing on a slow man as they go down to Lisboa. All 3 men sense the chance to grab the lead. Who's it going to be? Fogarty with the advantage. Whittam on the inside, Hunmar drops back. The 2 British boys go to the front, and the man there is Frank Stadler, the German, who has just chopped off Hunmar. Oh dear, dear, dear. There'll be a few karate blows back in the paddock after that, I think. So, the Brits are in front, and poor old Toshihiko Hunmar, who'd been working so hard, just loses the toe. And those few yards, well, he's made some of them back in. Now, Fogarty here for the first time. What has he learnt from the lesser mortals? We're watching some of the rest of the pack go through. There's Philip McCallan, number 9, the Ulsterman. He's had some great rides here. there you saw Laycock, and we jumped almost to Lisboa Bend, so that's an enormous lead now. In fact, it's 9 seconds, the gap between Laycock and Philip McCallum. Philip deciding that finishing is the name of the game. He can't stay with the 500 Yamaha of Eddie Laycock, and suddenly Jamie Whittam is putting the pressure on Carl Fogarty, pulls out of the slipstream. Is Whittam going to take the lead as they go on to lap 14? He has 2 laps to go. They've done 13. Whittam takes the lead, and it's so... Oh, Whittam goes down. It was, I was saying, so easy to misjudge the pace on that corner. So easy to judge the pace. Whittam goes down. He's perfectly okay, but that straw bales, the trackside barrier right in the path, and the yellow flags are out, of course. Oh, and in fact, there was the race leader, Carl Fogarty, inches away from a crash. Well, Jamie Whittam took the lead. He timed it perfectly, but it meant that he had to go into Lisboa just a fraction too fast. And, well, Jamie Whittam, perfect okay. I'm delighted to say that, but that could have been nasty. Here we see it again, a rerun. There's Fogarty. Ahead of him is Whittam, who's just going in, and he's just probably 6 inches, and he almost makes it, hits the wall, very close to being whacked by Carl Fogarty. That's close, and here comes Hunmar, and the Whittam rolling towards him with the impact, and Hunmar, well, a nice piece of riding, but certainly by Hunmar. He actually, you can see the black line where he goes round to Jamie Whittam, and well, it's so easy to make a mistake here. Carl Fogarty can now afford to cruise. He shouldn't throw victory away here in the opening leg and his first visit to the Macau Grand Prix. And if Fogarty can grab overall victory, then I suspect he and Mick Grant and Whittam will be down at Al Orcha, probably the nicest restaurant here in Macau, which is a favourite watering hole for the Grant squad tonight. Celebration time. But first, Fogarty has got to complete this job, and then he's got to win the second leg, and then he will have made sure of overall victory. Philip McCallum then now moves up into 4th spot. Well, maybe not. In fact, Whittam is still going. Whittam has gone past, he's remounted, so let me, I did say he was out, but he's back on the racetrack, so that suddenly puts the pressure on everyone else. Jamie Whittam, let me just confirm that, yes he is, Whittam out on the racetrack, he has remounted, he is 29 seconds behind the leader. Well, it would need something of a miracle for him to beat Fogarty by more than that in the second leg, but it's been done before. The racing game, it ain't over till it's over. Fogarty out in front, cruising then to a debut victory here at Macau. Oh, and he looked back, something there, the back end, wouldn't that have been just dramatic? You see, it's so easy to lose concentration. Fogarty then sprinting towards the checkered flag. Victory his, a debut victory for Carl Fogarty. Over the line, the checkered flag goes out. Carl Fogarty, the lad from Blackburn in Lancashire, the reigning endurance world champion, has won the first leg of the 1992 Macau Grand Prix. In second place, still waiting, there he goes, Toshihiko Honma, who just eased it all off on the last lap. Number 6, Gavin Lee, he's been lapped, but he's taking the checkered flag. Honma over 10.5 seconds behind, and Fogarty acknowledging the cheers, the applause of the crowd. Now, who's going to go through behind? There's Jamie Whittam. And so Whittam has finished 34 seconds in there and behind Carl Fogarty. So Whittam takes 3rd place despite that spectacular and rather miraculous let-off when he clipped the wall at Hotel Lisboa. Confirmation of the results on your screen. That's it. The first leg of the Macau Grand Prix. More action to come soon. Now just trying to warm up their tyres finally. before the blast off through Yacht Club Bend, and then the long straight down towards Lisboa corner. Brutal 90-degree corner that narrows up. Difficult for the bikes, and fairly horrendous for the cars, who also make up for this splendid week's entertainment here at Macau. So that's how they're going to line up. Fogarty, then it'll be Honma next to him, in fact, because they're lining up as they finish in the first Grand Prix race. So Fogarty, Honma, Whittam, Laycock and McCallum. That's the order as they'll line up. They won't line up as they practiced. The pace car is back, and a problem for a couple of riders already. They're pulling off the track. The green flag is being waved at the back there. Under starters orders, all eyes on the traffic lights. The lights change to green. The charge is on now. Who is it going to be? Who makes the front this time? Honma, number 33 again. Then it's Jamie Whittam in second place. Honma, the Japanese rider who was second home in the opening leg. There's Fogarty in about 5th or 6th place. The charge is on down towards Lisboa, and Fogarty making up ground, but he'll probably go into the first corner in 4th place. McCallan just ahead of him. So it's Honma, Whittam, McCallan, and then Carl Fogarty. 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th up San Francisco Hill. They go. Fogarty content to be in 4th place, looking for the inside line, using the pace of the 500 Yamaha, but McCallan just goes across his bows. Well, and Fogarty finally easing his way past McCallan. Eddie Laycock there, spotted number 11, well down. So it's Honma and Jamie Whittam, and about to be joined by the first race winner, Carl Fogarty. And Fogarty, that's the on-bike camera on the 500 Yamaha 4-cylinder 2-stroke, part of the new Mick Grant team. Carl Fogarty and Jamie Whittam, what a powerful combination. That's going to be Jean-Michel Mattioli, the Frenchman. Well, he's really cheesed off. He didn't even make the start. Fogarty closing on Honma and Whittam. Then it's Philip McCallan behind in 4th place as they come to end the opening lap. Whittam winds up the wick on the inside of Reservoir. Honma just snatches back the advantage. Honma then leads as they go through at the end of the first lap. Whittam in 2nd place. Carl Fogarty in 3rd spot. And the blast past the pits. Honma, Whittam, Fogarty, 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Then the roar of the 4-stroke. McCallan in 4th place. And Whittam looking to go ahead, and Whittam goes through to grab the lead at Lisboa. He'll be a bit more cautious this time, giving himself a fair bit more room. And McCallan losing a place there on that lap, slipping back to 5th place. And McCallan dropping back a place. Don't know yet who has gone up into... and Fogarty nearly legging himself off, taking a very tight line through that S-bend section. This is the twisty part of the circuit on the hill high above the paddock area. Whittam, Honma, Fogarty the order. And Fogarty, winner of the first race, growing in confidence. He was prepared to wait behind Messrs Whittam and Honma on the first leg. He's now, even though this is his first year at Macau, I'm sure beginning to feel as if he knows his way around. And the bike popped up. Oh, that's Christian Gardner again. So it really has been a very sad race meeting for him. Number 8, that's the German Peter Abarto on the Larks Yamaha. 41, Danny Roberts on the 900 Honda, the 30-year-old from Florida. So 2 laps gone. Whittam, Honma, Fogarty, Chuck Graves, Philip McCallan, Michel Simion 6th, Derek Young, Johnny Ray, Carl Truxess back in 9th place at the moment, Michael Barnes 10th, Eddie Laycock a very disappointing 11th. And this is the end of the 3rd lap of this 15-lap race. The front 3 men still together. I think they're going to stay together until the checkered flag again, unless we have any disaster. Whittam just not letting... Oh, and Hunmar just not only overtakes him, but goes in front of him. That was really remarkable stuff from Toshihiko Hunmar. He's a brave old character, just 25 years of age. And for a Japanese rider, he really is very smooth indeed, but Whittam outbrakes him beautifully. And, well, if Hunmar's overtaking move was audacious, that was very skillful by Jamie Whittam, totally unscathed and unperturbed by his little incident, well, his major incident in the first leg, when he just touched the Armco, just went in a little bit too quick. And we're watching Fogarty as the action seems to him. A rider's eye view in third place of Carl Fogarty. The on-bike camera, 2:35.46. And that's just slightly slower than the lap record Fogarty set on lap 12 in their first outing today. Here's the battle behind. Chuck Graves going well. Philip McCallan. Then Derek Young, the Ulsterman, who's getting better and better. Derek Young, a brother of Honda UK man in charge here. Graham Young, himself a former Grand Prix rider, racing runs in the Young family. But what a great ride from Chuck Graves. Having a splendid run out. Chuck Graves is fourth. Philip McCallan, then Derek Young. Michel Simeon up there in that group. So too is Carl Truxas, the Austrian. Keep an eye open for the green leathers. There he is at the tail end of that battle. Eddie Laycock beginning to make up ground a little bit. He made a very sluggish start. Chuck Graves from McCallan, then Derek Young, then Laycock. Behind Laycock is number 13, Michel Simeon, then number 99 is Carl Truxas. Behind Truxas is number 10, Johnny Ray. Johnny Ray on the second of the Miller Racing bikes. And back with the leaders. And they're together. A Carter-sized blanket could cover this bunch. They are together. Whittam setting the pace. And, well, you're a special human being when you can have a nasty incident like the tumble he took in the first leg and then just bounce back, ignore it, shrug it off, pretend it never happened, and go as quickly as you did before, or maybe even quicker. McCallan, number 9 in fourth place. Philip McCallan, who has had some good rides, third overall last year in 1991, sixth overall the year before, runner-up to Robert Dunlop in 1989. So for the past 3 years, McCallan has been a key figure in making his mark again in 1992. Eddie Laycock on the 500 Yamaha behind. Carl Truxas getting quicker and quicker on the 750 Kawasaki. Overall, it's Fogarty, Hunmar, Whittam, Laycock, McCallan, Truxas. But I think Truxas is still in with a chance of doing even better than that. What has he got? Well, he's about a minute behind McCallan on total time, so he'll need a bit of a miracle. There's McCallan. He's good on road circuit. Had a great year this year, despite some injuries. Eddie Laycock behind him. Carl Truxas, the Austrian. McCallan into reservoir at the end of lap 7. Still in fourth place, but being pursued and harried by Eddie Laycock and Carl Truxas. And Laycock, you can see the pace of the 500 Yamaha. Laycock making up for a bad start. Truxas trying to hang on. This is a good race. Laycock pulls out of the slipstream, winds up the wick of the 500 two-stroke four-cylinder of the Yamaha, on the inside of McCallan. McCallan will not give way. Down through the gearbox he goes. You can see his hand just flipping the throttle as it changes down the gearbox. And there's Carl Truxas shadowing the pair now. Behind Truxas was Chuck Graves. Young is next, Michel Simeon, then Johnny Ray. 7 laps completed, 8 laps to go. It's almost half distance. Fogarty closes up on Hunmar. Will Fogarty leave it to the last lap? Will he make his move early? And they're going through these tricky sections, and there is no room for error. The clock is running for Fogarty. His best lap 2:34.76 in this one. The lap record to him in the first race, 2:34.21. Hunmar on the bit of the track that Fogarty wanted. May have slowed him down just a couple of tenths of a second. Fogarty, winner of race 1, overall leader at the moment. Hunmar, who is in second place in this race, is in second place overall. Whittam, who finished third in the first leg, who leads this race, is third on total time. Then Laycock is fourth, McCallan fifth, Truxess sixth, Johnny Ray seventh, Derek Young eighth, Michel Simeon ninth, and Michael Barnes in 10th place on total time. 2:06. The clock continues to run for Carl Fogarty. They're closing on a slower rider. Round into Reservoir, round Arbend into Reservoir, and Carl Fogarty having to debate which side of that slow man to go, and look at the deck of the gap, and here goes Hunmar. Well, that time he did it, so Hunmar at the end of lap 11 takes the lead. Fogarty was held up a bit. Now here comes Whittam out of the slipstream on the inside. He's got the better line, and he goes ahead of Hunmar, just cheekily pushes him over. And then Whittam, it all came rushing back to him, and he hung off the side of the bike, hoping desperately to stay clear of that wall, but he's regained the lead, and Hunmar has perhaps shown his hand just a little bit too early. Whittam will be ready for that next time. Whether he can do anything about it is another matter, but he will be ready. And Fogarty looking a little bit more ragged in this second race than he was in the first. Perhaps that's not surprising, they are so quick. And Fogarty again closes on the rear wheel of Toshihiko Hunmar, the 25-year-old Japanese rider, who at present is in second place on the track and second place overall. And Whittam, really the best he can hope for is the consolation of a race win here. There's no way you can beat either Fogarty or Hunmar to overall victory. Truxess up into fourth place. That is a remarkable ride from the Austrian. And well, look at this. What a superb race, superb pictures. Just see how much these guys hang off the motorcycle, the knee just skimming the tarmac. The plastic knee pads being used almost as a third wheel as they hurtle round these corners. They are on lap 12. The countdown is on to the checkered flag. And these three still together. That's how it was after 11 laps, but it's Whittam who took the lead back just after they went over the line. Whittam who leads now. Hunmar looking to use the pace of his apparently quicker Yamaha. And Fogarty, well, he's not really in contention at the moment. He's there in third place. They're pulling away from him. And here comes Hunmar, a man on a mission. He winds up the pace of the Yamaha, and he chases Whittam, and he pulls out of the slipstream again. And once again, Hunmar, that bike is quick, and that's a warning to Whittam and to Fogarty. Now, Jamie Whittam gets behind Hunmar, stays in the slipstream. Hunmar tries to shake him off. Whittam once again goes for the inside line, and again he tries to go across the bows of the Japanese rider, and once again Jamie Whittam regains the lead. It's an action replay, deja vu. We've seen it before, and Jamie Whittam's bike shaking in protest as they go over the hill. Well, Hunmar's bike is quick, and Jamie Whittam knows this. He's going to have to do something very, very special. And you somehow feel, in the first race, you had the feeling that Fogarty could win it. Somehow, and maybe I'm wrong, somehow I feel that Fogarty, maybe he can win, maybe he feels he doesn't have to. And of course he doesn't have to. He has to finish close enough to Hunmar. In the first race, the gap was 10.66 seconds. Fogarty leads at the moment by 9.5 seconds. Oh, and almost in formation flying. The three Yamahas, the front wheels popped in the air. Synchronized downhill racing. Eat your heart out, you skiers. Witham, Hunmar, and again the front wheels just pour the air as these high-powered, lightweight, two-stroke racing machines cost £75,000 each a race, and they cost a bob or two to run at every meeting as well. And the clock running this time on Hunmar, who has a fastest lap in this race of 2:34.46. Fastest lap so far in the meeting to Fogarty, 2:34.21. Hunmar in second place. Now, the little Japanese rider starts to wind himself up for the attack. It's a very simple technique. He will just charge, he will try to get the drive out to the very last corner. They're around our bend. They go into reservoir. Hunmar tries to be very, very quick here. Watch him. Very quick driving out. Witham stays over, and that makes life a little bit more difficult for Hunmar. Hunmar looks for a gap, and he goes through again. Well, Witham was ready for him. He knew what Hunmar wanted to do. Hunmar wanted to drive through on the inside. Witham made it difficult, and Hunmar just simply went on the other side. 2:34.51. And 2:34.41, and Witham once again. Oh, and he's so quick. Is he too quick? Oh, dear. Dear, dear, dear. Your heart goes right into your mouth every time these superheroes, these superstars of motorcycle racing go hurtling into Lisboa Bend. We are on lap 14. There is less than 2 laps to go. You pays your money, you takes your choice. Is it going to be 69 Witham who wins? Is it going to be 33 Hunmar, the Japanese star? Is it going to be number 1, the endurance world champion, Carl Fogarty, teammate to Jamie Witham, who is going to repeat his victory of the first race? It really is special stuff. This is perhaps one of the best Macau Grand Prix that I've ever seen, and I've seen some good ones. 3 men together, and again the front wheels just pour into the air, just pop off the ground as they wheelie their way on that downhill run. Witham, Hunmar, Fogarty, you say their names as quick as they go past. Witham looks over his shoulder, they're still there. He can't shake them off. Fogarty closer than ever. He's ready to pounce. This is lap 14. Little more than a lap and a third to go. Less than a lap and a half into the Macau hairpin. Witham, fastest lap to Fogarty on that last lap. A new lap record, 2:33.94. The first sub 34-minute lap ever on a motorcycle round this 3.8-mile circuit. The record was shattered in practice. It's been broken in both the first race and the second race by Fogarty, and Fogarty is looking threatening. Now, what can Witham do now? He's tried to block Hunmar on one side, he's tried to block him on the other, and the simple fact of the matter is that Hunmar's bike is very, very fast. Here he comes again, the Japanese rider. He winds up the wick, number 33. He blasts his way past. He takes the lead going into the final lap. Now, surely he knows what Witham will do now. He'll be ready for Witham. It's now or never. The charge is on. Hunmar tries to shake Witham out of the slipstream, and Witham is close enough to do it at Lisboa. He'll have to find another place. Hunmar leads going into Lisboa. Oh, and Witham this time goes too fast again. It was almost an action replay of the crash, and Jamie Witham ease off, and Hunmar could win this one. Now, in the first race, let's remind ourselves, he finished 10.66 seconds behind Fogarty. He's got to beat Fogarty by more than that distance, and he is a man on a mission. Witham is second, Fogarty is third, but 10.66 seconds is a long way. They're probably 4 or 5 seconds apart now. Now, is Hunmar going to do it? What a marvellous victory it would be for Toshihiko Hunmar. He's charging. He's got it all wound up, and Witham is in second place. And at the moment, Fogarty's making no attempt to get past, whether he can or not. 10.6 seconds is the buffer. And Hunmar is just riding on and over the limit. Fogarty, and they're reeling him back in. They're reeling him back in. Whittam and Fogarty. Now who's going to win? It is anybody's race. And Hunmar's brave attempt to break clear and to stretch that gap has failed. Hunmar charging, and he's proved a very formidable opponent to these two Team Mick Grant competitors. Whittam is second in this race. He's third overall. Hunmar leads, but he's second overall. And Fogarty, who's in third place in this second leg, is heading for overall victory with a win and a third. Hunmar, now Whittam's closing, but we've seen how quick Hunmar's bike is round the fisherman. And we've got one of the slow men in the way, Oxenreiter, the German rider. Is he going to get in the way? Oh, he is! He went wide, and oh dear, all over the track, and the German has made life difficult for Jamie Whittam, and Whittam, I'm sure, can't get back. It's going to be a win, a very satisfactory win for Toshihiko Hunmar. Whittam will take second place, some consolation, but what a great ride from Hunmar. He's pleased. Whittam is second. Carl Fogarty cruises home in third place. Well, Hunmar then the winner of the second leg. Jamie Whittam second, half a second down. Carl Fogarty third, 2.2 seconds down on the winner. Carl Truxess, a splendid fourth, the Austrian on the Kawasaki. Well, what a great day. Let me confirm the overall results. Fogarty, Hunmar, Whittam, McCallan, Truxess, Laycock, Young, Ray, Simiar and Nick Jeffries. Well, great racing and a marvellous Macau Grand Prix. 1992 is over. Roll on 1993.